sound design, song structure, and the mix, meaning your sounds have to be original and move through 3D space somehow. For the song structure, you gotta have a climax where we gotta go on a journey, have a little peak, build-ups, drops, breakdowns, turn off my monitor speaker. Hi. And then in the mix, of course, you gotta drop some bass. That's what it's all about. Getting the low end tight so it sounds good when it transfers to all different sound systems, even on people's mobile phone, which is so annoying that we have to mix for phone speakers. It's like the tiniest thing. But you can actually make it sound listenable, if not good. And then the real fun is, of course, when you get a chance to play your music in a club or even at a big show and you hear it, but you feel it. Actually, last night I met a guy who, let me say hi to who's here. Matt Schultz. Yeah. What's going on? Todd Millett. Todd. Hope you're all right. That's not a glitch in the stream, by the way. That's a 45-second loop that's looping. Todd Mavis. Yep. I got your track. Gabrielle, got your track. OSP, got your track too. Cool. First, what I'm doing is, Tim, I see your message, but I can't have a chat with you because we're streaming. So the first thing I'm doing is, let's go into screen share. I had a really cool question from Scott Burke, and he put up 2 versions directly into Discord and just asked the question, which version is better? What do you think is better? I listened to both of them and instantly I knew the answer for what I thought was better. So here's version 1. We've been listening to that at the opening. Let me just play it without me talking. Okay, we heard that for a little bit. Yeah, Matt Schultz, I was out last night. Across the street, there's a little DJ night with some pretty decent subwoofers. They were doing 2-step breakbeat, some drum and bass DJs. I didn't get quite as much sleep as always, so if I look like, that's probably why. Now we heard version 1, here's version 2. I mean, right away when I heard version 2, I was like, okay, that's version 2. Here's version 1. Hey, Stuart, how you doing? Come on in. Now, the Visionary 4 in the key of C, when I hear that by itself, there's nothing like wrong with it, you know? But when we go to version 5, it's in the key of F. It's just so much deeper, and it feels kind of like a little bit more, I don't know, like relaxed, or it draws you in better. So that's a good example of the effect that just key signature can have. Same BPM, same rhythm, same everything, just moving it down a fifth. Yeah, version 2, right? It's just, you know what I might even do is take the version 4, use that as a breakdown section with no beats for an alternate. So like it goes up, and you're like, oh, the beat dropped out, the bass line went up higher. It's not hitting, it's making you wait. It's building tension. And then for release, oh, you come back in nice and low down there. Just a thought on what you could do with that, Scott. So that was a fun one. And what was really cool about it, I might as well just do a tiny little bit of promo before we start. Don't switch. What he did was he put this right into our Discord server. You can upload audio directly into Discord, and I would be happy if more people did this because it's just right there. And he said, hey, I want to see if you guys can help me out. Got 2 versions, which is better, C or a deeper one in F. And that's a great way to get feedback because you tell people exactly what the question is. There's 2 short pieces of audio, so we don't have to listen to a 7-minute track to evaluate the 2 versions. It's like one clip, the other clip, listen, make a decision, get the answer. I think that's cool. That seems like it's a good way of doing things. Oh my God, more high-tech parties. What are you guys talking about over there? But let's get into the music. So we have as our analyzer, we got our spectrum up there so we can see the music. DJ Watars. I got you on. I think you're going to be last today, Ian, the Christmas stuff. And here we go with Tim Laws. Let's start this off. And I'm going to bring up the broadcast level a little bit. You can see a nice kick drum pulse already down here at 55 hertz or so. Turn my headphones up. Those little breaks. I like the reverb on those little blips. All right, good. I was ready for a section to change. That opening started to feel like a little bit like the beat was a little bit of a loop with. Could use a little cymbal crash coming in on there. All right, those vocal samples are cool. Keep moving. Let's skip ahead and skip through. Yeah. Good. What I was just scanning for is I was thinking it's time for like a harmonic part or a lead or something in the mid-range for chords or something to come in, because the bass line and beat were feeling like a bit of a loop after the intro, so I wanted to hear some new development. And that's good. We got a atmospheric pad coming up. Vocals are at a good level. I can hear that coming through. Got me in the groove. I'm not sure about the low end bass line, if it's not maybe as clear as it could be. Okay, dive bomber on the sub. You know, I'm feeling the kick drum and the bass line both, but it feels maybe like they're a little bit like. Oh, Tim's here, cool. I would probably start by bringing the kick drum up a little bit, or maybe put the drum bus plug in on it, hit the compressor switch on drum bus. That can just kick your kick drum up in a nice, like, nice, like bring it to the front. All right, this is cool. Got a little dreamy breakdown happening. How do you guys like having my mic up here out of view? Okay, is something fading up now? Yeah. Cool, with the vocal, that's good. All right, little build-up, snare rolls, false drop. This is good. Right here, it has that deep house swing with the hi-hats. I think, I don't usually say this, but the hi-hats might be a little bit too bright. Like, for this kind of genre, it's okay to have like a deep mellow vibe, and the hi-hats could just have like a little bit of a high shelf EQ at like 12K, down like -4 or something, just like this, to kind of take off that brightness. And we're still going to be in the groove, and it doesn't, this track doesn't need to be mixed like super bright, you know, because it has that mellow synth, a nice deep bass. This part's like totally in the flow. It took a little while to get in here. Yeah, that last part was like a sci-fi background. So I'm going to just boost up the lows a little bit.
It was all about the music.
Take the highs down. Okay, I'm gonna flip forward a little bit. Okay, this is an interesting track because that part after the main build-up, like this chunk right here, felt considerably different from the rest of the track. The whole rest of the track has like kind of like sounds are coming in and out, and it's more bouncy, like that kind of stuff. Almost like bass house, like with those like kind of massive synth or like dubstep growly kind of bass sounds coming in and out. But then at this part after the drop, it settles down to this super deep, kind of more like ambient mid-range. I guess because that pad is there, that smooth atmospheric pad. So I think you should keep that long pad synth. I think that should stay in longer. Whatever that instrument is right here. Because it's like filling up the whole mid-range and giving us like a stable.
The real house music.
I don't know, it kind of fills up the mid-range. It gives us this like continuous vibe to sort of ride on in the beat, and then all the other bouncy stuff can be bouncing around. So I personally think that synth should keep going a little bit longer, maybe out to this.
It was all about the music.
Right here.
The real house music. All night.
And then right here, that could be like the mix out section with just the bass and the beats to get to the end of the track. That's my opinion. And I wonder if that could come in. There, okay. I'm looking for where that sound first came in. Right, it was fading in right there. Yeah, minor tweak, just take whatever that arrangement is, take that MIDI note and like paste it, or that MIDI chunk, 16 bars, paste it again. Up to the second break. DJ Water is like the distorted sounds. Yeah. Oliver always want to boost 10K. Yeah, yeah, the tinnitus, always got to play with that. Cool. So Tim, that sounded pretty good. Do that little minor edit and maybe simplify the beat in the beginning. Because at the early part of the track, the beat has all these little like shuffle swing hats, and like if you have the beat come in with just maybe one hi-hat first, and then 8 bars, and then another one, by the time you get to this part over here, it'll sound like the beat's developing and growing. Because right now it comes in from the very beginning. That's good for beat matching. That'll definitely tell you what kind of track it is. But it might be nice to just thin out the percussion part at the beginning of the track so that you can add layers, right into the intro and kind of make it feel like it has some rhythmic development. But good track, good mix, and definitely you're one of the people making a lot of progress over the last 2 years. I remember back when we were in the Facebook group, we heard a bunch of your tracks, and now they're coming out sounding better right off. All right, cool. So Who's On? A track called Who's On from The Nets. That's what he looks like. What's up? Reset EQs. Do not EQ somebody else's track. Here we go. And he said that he posted an update on this. Let me check again to make sure we know what I'm talking about. Okay, yeah, this is an older track. Worked on the arrangement and mix. Looking for feedback on the low end and transitions and effects. This is the one I was like, studio. A little bit of a Phil Collins studio. Low end is good so far for me. I like the little bass line thing. It's coming in like. It's like subtle but really bouncy. You can almost see it right there around 230 hertz. So, good example of a little subtle bass line in the lower end of the mid-range, not in the sub. Working really well, keep the low end clean. Groove is on point, yes. That was a nice soft riser. It didn't have too much of like a hiss. It was like whoosh, whoosh. Classic Danet's kind of a beat. Little vocal snippets. Oh, it sounds like Van Halen Jump. Yeah, there is like some 80s kind of overtones in here. Might as well jump. Go ahead and jump. I'm not making fun of Adam, I'm just referencing sonic memories. Oh my god, thank you, Coffee. The spectrum is therapeutic. Yeah, we're here for a sound bath of therapy. Adam, this track is cool, man. It's flowing so far. I'm wondering, is there gonna be a lead coming in? Another top element? Because I'm in the flow so far. All right, that was cool. Nice crash, nicely done, like nicely mixed effects. Those high frequencies are like smooth, but clear. Did that guy say around 3 o'clock in the morning? Around 3 o'clock in the morning. I like the subtle background vocal that's kind of putting stuff in your mind, but you're not really aware that you're hearing lyrics. All right, it's this part feels like it could have an action or an activity. Like we're in a bass line and beat groove, right? But the organ part, bow, 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 has been going on since the beginning, right? Bow, bow, bow. And so all the way out to 4 minutes, we basically have that little filler chord part. Bow, bow, bow. It doesn't, it feels like the track should have something in the top melody to like add a new layer in that whole section, in this middle section, because it started to feel a little repetitive. Sonically, it's good. The mix is good, and it's flowing. It's not like throwing me out of the vibe, but it just felt like, oh, there maybe should be like a lead. Yeah, DJ Waters, around the midway point, I want it to go somewhere. That's a way to say it. I'm curious about your strategy with chopping vocals. All right, the clap coming in. Can't quite understand what he's saying. That's like the point. That one. Okay, we had the clap coming in. Vocal re-stuttering kind of. And that was a little weird. That was like there was 1 bar too long. I don't know if I should count this whole breakdown, but it felt like right there, it felt like the kick should come in, but we get an extra 4 bars. So that last third section did not really feel like a build up into a drop. It felt like a gap, the breakdown, and then the beat kind of came back, but there wasn't really like a moment like of arrival. I am curious how long that whole thing was. We're gonna count this. 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 6. All right. 7, 8. Now go into transition. 9. Yeah. Okay. 10. 11, 12. Is that going to be 32? 32, probably, yeah. 14, 15, 16. Now next element, 17. Claps, good. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 3, 4, dang, it comes in. All right, so that was a 24 bar break with 3 sections of 8 bars, and every 8 a new sound came in. And then after 24, we had like an extra little 1 bar at the start of the downbeat of 25, and then the kick drum came back on 26. That didn't work for me. I'm just gonna say it. It felt like that was 1 bar too long. It did not achieve that thing of like a false drop that makes you wait for it and then it comes in. Probably because the drum beat, the top end drum beat came back without the kick right here. So if you want that to work, either cut out the hi-hats in that 1 bar thing to actually make a false drop of silence where you're like waiting for it and then it comes back in, or just have the kick drum come in right there after, like when it's expected, because we're kind of in between a tricky little thing and the whole thing coming in, and that's like 2 different rhythmic expectations. So that's my biggest advice on that, is fix that one little part, maybe delete that 1 bar or delete the sounds out of the 1 bar, and really think about adding a top line melody. Maybe take the voices and do something with those to pitch them up and make like a little plinky instrument. It could be like a melodic, like an arpeggiator or something. I don't want to force you into other people's styles, but in general, the track, like the second major sections, felt a little bit like we're just kind of in the groove, like waiting, like a holding pattern. And a top line melody is one of the things that can throw it over the top and be like, all right, here we are in the body of the track. So that's my feeling on that one. Otherwise, mix is cool. Got the Donats bounce in there. And let's move on to Caesar. But, oh, hey, GemX, what's going on? I should play tracks from people who are here instead of making you wait and listen to me talk about everybody else. So Shepard is here. Got Todd Melvis. You all just got promoted. I'm afraid of DJ Waters. He's going to be last. So Caesar, we didn't play yet. I am going to organize my tabs just so I don't miss anybody. And let's check out some Suerte from Oliver. EQs are neutralized. Nice, coming in strong right there. Let's see what this looks like. I'm totally in the groove right away. All right, there's a new little shaker on the, I hear it on the right side. Matt Schultz, good idea. Maybe possibly make the arrangement shorter. There's a lot of really cool clicky kind of stuff in the mid-range. You hear that? Good reverb. Nice tight little reverb. Yeah. And this almost feels like that rumble thing going on the low end. It's like whoa, whoa, whoa. It's not enough to be a bass line, but it's a little different from a techno rumble. I really like it. I think we're looking at that right here. About 74 hertz. And I'm gonna sweep around in the mid-range. I'm gonna EQ this, hold on. Low end gone, top end gone. All that clicky stuff. I love all that mid-range clicky stuff. That's like between 500 and 1,000. And if you have some rhythmic stuff in there, it almost sounds like drumsticks, like that, like hitting the 2 sticks against each other. That makes a track for me, man. That stuff's great. With the echo. With the echo. Ah, man, I like what you've been doing with vocals lately. This really flows. It's got that simplicity. Everything that comes in builds on what was there before, and it kind of keeps going. Ooh, a little shuffle beat came in. OSP, I always have a hard time giving Oliver feedback because the tracks are like, okay, there's another good one. Hi-hat patterns change every once in a while, keep it fresh. Turn off my phone. That's a good vocal loop too. It's rhythmic, holds part of the beat, but it's not like, oh, I'm singing a song, you know? Ah, good breaks. Nice chops. Feels a little bit like we're in a breakdown here, but the beat didn't stop. I want to go back and see how that happened, but that was really interesting. This section from right here, I started to have the feeling like we're in a little bit of a breakdown, but the beat didn't stop. So what dropped out? Let's just go back to right here. Okay, to open it up, there's the ride cymbal. Went into the echo, that's like transition signal. Snare drum. So there's like that new kind of like stab sound, and some of the hi-hats dropped out and the rhythm just got thinner, and that was enough to make it feel like, oh, we're in a new song section. That was really cool, because tracks like this, it can be hard to keep it changing without making it totally fall flat or get too crowded. So that's a nice way to like substitute parts, take things out, bring it back in, and like get some definition in the arrangement. Gabriel, good question. How was this vocal made and processed? Oliver, if you want to tell us. I like the timing of that bass blip with the vocals. It like restarts the cycle of vocals. That's cool. So Oliver, did that come from a sample and then you processed it and just looped it, or like what else was going on there? Nice reverb on there. Sounds like a little bit of a longer pre-delay. The reverb bloom comes a little after. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfectly right when I was expecting it. Oh, this part. I like it now with the vocals out. This makes this section really good. Yeah, man, this is a dance floor track for sure. I was chopping and processing it. All right, what's gonna happen after this little beat? 1, 2, 3, 4. Kick drum drops out. I like these tracks. It's just the right kind of predictable where you kind of need a change to come and it happens, which is really good. People react to that. It makes it like a track you can trust, where you can play it and just sit in it and be like, it's gonna work. And we're in the mix out. All right, let's do this. Scan through the song sections and just count how many rhythmic layers are happening at once. We're gonna hear the intro, and I'll skip through like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chunks of time. Basically like once every minute. This is something I like to do. I was producing, 10 years ago, I was hanging out with somebody, and we were listening to a track, and it was like really good, but then he said, you know what? All 3 of these drops are exactly the same texture or the same amount of layers or the same drum beat. And we went through it and I was like, oh yeah. And if you can do something subtle so that the big drops and big moments in the song are not exactly like copy and paste, it'll give your track a longer shelf life and people can actually play through the whole track instead of playing the first half and being like, oh, this is stupid. So let's just see what do we got in here. At the beginning, so kick drum, down, down, some hi-hats, and a lot of like crackly stuff in the mid-range, right? And then those other hi-hats come in. Let's go back over to here. Now that sounds like the same beat, but the vocals are the new layer, right? Oh, we had the ride come in and then leave. Okay. And then I'm wondering like how many different high frequency percussion tracks are in this song, or how many layers, or how many like sounds, because the variation is great. It keeps coming in like new ones coming in and leaving, and they're really well mixed, but I can't actually identify how many separate ones there are. That delay is great. Yeah. And then we're back to here like without the vocals. So how does it end compared to the beginning? Okay. Feels like the slash hi-hat. So the open hi-hat is gone at the end, tightens it up, leaves a little more space. This is cool. I don't know, I'm not gonna try to exactly like count and name the layers, but the strength of this track, there's two things that are making it really, really work. One is the mid-range clacky clack kind of sounds that are like dunk, chicka, 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 dunk, chicka, chicka, dunk. And then the variation of stereo hi-hats on the top where different sounds are coming in, all the familiar symbols, closed hi-hat, open hi-hat, ride cymbal, there's a crash, and a bunch of little hi-hats. They keep changing. So that makes an interesting track. And Oliver, this one feels like it's about done. There are a couple places I thought the vocal could get a little bit louder, and here's how I would do it, is use a filter sweep to filter it down and up. So when the filter's open, you hear the vocal part, the sample louder, and then when you filter it back down, it kind of gets quieter and dips back into the background. Maybe for some variation, because there's a long, this whole part, like, we hear that sample a lot, and it's a really strong foundation of the track. It's a nice rhythmic loop. It's melodic. It's human, so it feels like, oh, you know, there's somebody singing to me. If you want to take this to another, like, if you want to do another whole round of modulation, maybe do a slow filter sweep on that one, so it's like opening up and closing back down together with the reverb on the delay, with the reverb and the delay. That might make it like there's a little bit more kind of bouncing around and happening, but that's up to you. This is a cool track. I think the shelf life advice. I think this one's almost done. There's no problems in the arrangement. Mix is great. Low end looked good. I forget what question you asked about it, but damn, it's 22 hours old and already sounded good. So let's move on. I want to let go of my organ, but I just don't know how. Todd, I saw your notes. Let's check out what we got. Speaking of David Lee Roth and Van Halen. Definitely feeling I got to reset my idea of low end, because this is not a bass track, right? It feels like mid-rangey rock, but that's what it's supposed to be. I'm turning up the low EQ. So I was just EQing the mid-range down a little bit, around 1,000 or 1,500. The low end feels a little light. It kind of feels like a mid-rangey track. I know we were just listening to like house music and techno, so granted. But okay, so we were listening to changing the drum parts and then alternating the organs with different guitars, right? Let's see how that goes. Drum rolls, the tom fills sound great. Okay. Got to comment on something. In the first version, I think the bass line was paralleling the guitar melody all the time, and it was technically proficient, but I thought, hey, what if it slowed down and how we had a bass like a floor, like an anchor bass, and then had the guitar moving on top? And it sounds like we just got that. So let me pull it out and let me point it out and go back to it. What I mean is the bass player, instead of following the guitar melody, down, boom, 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 instead of that, and instead of following the rhythm exactly, the bass player is going to just go down, do, 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 just like that eighth note rock floor that the guitarist plays on top of. So let's hear that. Do, 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 do. Right here. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum. That was really good. It kind of takes it to like a, well, defining song sections, you know, difference, variation. Was that the little organ run? Cracking off some snare drum breaks. Got it. That was kind of like a, that could almost go into a delay. I don't know if you want to make this psychedelic jam rock, but like that. And there's some stereo going on in that. That was cool. I can see you've been putting some work into this. Paul Robinson, what's up? All right. Don't add every single drum in the kitchen sink. I just heard the little bell of the ride. Ding, ding, ding. Right there. Did you guys hear that? That was a little too much. Like, we don't, it sounded a little unreal. Like a drummer who's bashing like this, you wouldn't hear a little bell ride, you know? I don't know. You could cut that one little sound, it would be fine. All right, good, breaking it down. Tighter hi-hat, different organ riff. Guitar is gone. This is nice, man. This is like when the singer's gonna introduce the band. Let's see how it comes back in for an epic finale. Yeah, screechy guitar is cool. It's good, man. You're leading this through nice development and progression. It's like knowing what to chop out to make it kind of relaxed so you can come back to this part really gives it like a freshness that wasn't there before. Drummer's crushing it. I think this is a show where you're going to see the drummer's armpits. Yeah, that breakdown part. Okay, now we're taking it out for the big finale. Light off some fireworks. Crushing it. I agree with you. The drum beat should stay there till the end. I was saying last time, like maybe you could cut the drums and have the organ take it out. That was perfect. The guitars got cut, the bass got cut, organ and drums kept it together till the end, and we had that epic finish. This is cool. You gotta cut that little ride bell symbol. Where was that? Yeah, it's not loud enough to be realistic, and it like it only happens once in the track. It's kind of out of nowhere. It's like, oh, all of a sudden the drummer decided to hit the little ride bell. I think you could take that out. I don't know if anybody else is going to notice it, but just for me, thinking of like watching a band or hearing a recording or something, it's like maybe just a little too much variation from the kit, the sound, like the sonic world of the kit. But yo, this one sounds done. I think the mix needs a little bit of work because I EQ'd it with a low end boost. I took some of the mids down around 1 or 2,000 because the guitars were really mid-rangey. And so what that basically would translate to is maybe a little more bass line volume, a little louder bass line, a little louder kick drum. Don't be afraid of the bottom because there's nothing competing with the bottom end. Like the organ's not going down deep. It's just guitar, bass guitar and kick drum. So this one, I guess this would be really a question to listen to some reference mixes, play through some of the albums that we were talking about on the phone about like other bands and get it to sound similar to what a rock band live recording would sound like and get the low end like that. I don't know if I'm giving you good low end advice after listening to Oliver, but I did definitely notice it was mid-rangey even for this style. So cool. Oh, the carnage of the bells. FC is Frenchcore. Yeah, nice work. Beans on toast in Spain. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to turn it down. I don't know what's going to happen. Building it up. Yes, man. I'm pushing this up. Going up.
Here we go. Fucking genocide.
Juxtapose. Higher. Lower. Juxtapose.
It's fucking genocide.
Same thing. Main drop goes deeper. This is great. This is all the BPMs. Oh man, I'm redlining my broadcast. Oh. Where did that stereo come from? That buzzy shit is so good. Let's roll that back.
It's fucking genocide.
The top end of that grinding buzzy stuff is so good and wide and deep. Let me skip forward, sorry. It's like peaceful now. Ooh, 3 layered tails to get that distorted sound. All right. All right. This track does not let you go. Good, good, good.
It's fucking genocide.
That vocal sample happened before. It's a little bit too bassy and not loud enough for me. I think the intelligibility, like if you want people to understand that sample, cut a little bit of the low end, like up to 120 or something like that, and turn it up a little bit louder. I think that would help it come through.
It's fucking genocide.
Wait, let's see that on the spectrometer.
It's fucking genocide.
Looks like the low end of that voice was down like at 107 or something like that. You could just EQ that up to like 150 so you don't have that lower part and make it louder. It'll like come through better. Says me. All right, and we're cruising through the end. One more time on Spectrum. That is a joy to behold. So this one, I don't have any feedback. You have completely solved the arrangement issues that we had back in the, I think the Frank Sinatra remix or something. There was a while where the alternating between fast breaks and long sample storytelling stuff was like almost like too chaotic. Like it was cool, but it was like, where are we? Now it's like you're giving us these long sections to go just totally deep in it. I really like the choral bell song mixed in with the layers. Yeah, it does sound a little bit, I saw a comment like, it does sound a little bit like 2 songs competing, but that's like the whole point. It's great, like a literal mashup. And it feels relaxing. Like the intro, you know, the emotional Christmas part, you're like, oh, I like this Christmas song. Oh, it's kind of like, oh my God. But it's also like, hey, people who like Frenchcore, it's like, oh, this is Christmas music for me. So I like the way the arrangement is put together with the combination of journeys from one thing to the other. Transitions are good. The kick drum rolls, all those kinds of things are cool. And again, I've been saying this a lot lately, which is good. Your mixing is really coming along where the intro sounds, I can hear them. I turn up the overall listening volume to where I think it sounds good. And then when the kick drums come in, I don't have to move the faders. They don't come in crazy loud. They don't come in crazy not loud. It's just a nice kind of put it where you want it, and the track is legit. That first drop actually was, I thought it could be a little bit harder, but I wasn't aware of how deep we're gonna go. So here the bass is like up. And then later, it goes down to a deeper note later. That's that juxtaposition thing like we were talking about with Scott, where the key signature of the track gives you a feel of how deep it is. So first we get this kind of upper kick drum, like bow, 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 bow. And then later it goes down. I think I might have heard one tiny mistake. What was at the end here? Boom, 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 boom. Was that an extra note at the end? I don't know. That's the great thing about DJ Waters is you never know if it was a mistake or on purpose. I mean that in the nicest way. This is cool. So what else is coming up? Are you doing a set of Christmas songs, or like is this for a New Year's party, or like where's this gonna go? Maybe on your Saturday shows, because it sounds playable already. I gave you a little tweak about that one vocal sample to make it up louder. And other than that, it sounds great. I was looking at the spectrum line all the way through, and it had a nice curve where you could just see all the different frequency ranges had pressure coming through. A couple sounds poked up above it, and it felt balanced, felt good. Nothing too screechy in the high end, which is nice, so we can play it loud and not have like. So that's just a fun track. It's it's amazing to hear what sounds you pull out and put together. Caesar, and is anybody else? Gabriel and the Shep. Let's listen to some trance. This trance or side trance? I want to get that right. Here we go. EQ reset. Doink. Saxophone? I may bring this up a little bit. All right, Todd, thanks for coming in, man. How loud is this going to kick in? Oh. Remix, Psytrance, gotcha, yeah. Slurpy Swamp. Dig it. I'm bringing up the low end a little bit because the mids and the highs are nice and bright and the low can have a little more power in there. So I'm bringing that up. All right. That's a really good example of when we were in a groove, it kept going for a little bit, and then a new top high frequency sound came in to really define a new section. And that was super bleepy. I like that. Really good sound design. It's like R2-D2 on fast forward. Is that a sample and hold circuit on the synth? That sound is amazing. Yeah, Ian, kicks could be a little harder, yeah. That's okay, that's just a mix thing. Ah, what was that? What was that? Wait. Right there, around 2 minutes, 2:05, the bass line goes, and I was looking at it. You can see the bass line notes popping up, and you can see them go. I want to make an arrangement comment. It's not really about MIDI notes and theory and music composition and stuff. It's just like using different notes to make variation. That was really effective. I want to roll that back and look at it again. Yeah, you can see them right there. They go. That's awesome. Push bongo on coke, right? I guess that sax part could be a little louder in here. I don't think you would hear it very well on a big system. It is a little subliminal, so it's okay that it's like background, but I think it could be a little louder right here. And I like how the sax gives it a halftime feel. This is so creative, I'm like, my head's exploding. Yeah, that part a little louder. A lot of juicy mid-range in that sax. crushing it right here. Again, moving the bass line up a few notes to a different section. All right, Tim Laws, thanks for hanging out. Good job. Keep it coming. That's going to be a good deep house track when you get that done. This high frequency stuff is literally like spreading my head farther apart on the inside. That's like a psytrance thing. It feels like it's bigger on the inside than on the outside. If that makes sense. Okay, yeah, all this saxophone stuff needs to be louder because I hear it. It's like an ambient, like swimmy kind of sax thing, but the high-pitched synth bleeps are kind of overlayering it. That's me cutting down the high EQ. That's guitar? Talk Mavis, that almost sounds like some prog rock kind of progressions. The stereo field is insane in this track. Yeah, that was a little guitar in there. How did you make all those sounds in the middle? Ian has come down music, yeah. Okay, we're getting a little repetitive. Low-end rhythm is so tight. Okay, I don't think this track needs to be 8 minutes. I like this part right here, but from 6.5, not trying to be critical, but just from like around 6.5 minutes out to this part, it was a little bit like, that. I don't know. It could maybe be a minute shorter, but I guess psytrance tracks do go kind of long. Oh, Ian, I just saw your comment. It's about a minute too long. Cut out a minute before the end section, I think. Yeah, I think so too. The swamp. This variation was good. Then right in there, you know, it's kind of like sort of just gargling for a while. So you could cut it a little bit shorter. The strength of this track is the sound design. These sounds were amazing in the beginning. And I got my low EQ jacked up a little bit, so it's going to need some overall mix to get the lows up compared to the mid-range and all that, but you could probably figure that out if this is a new version. 13 hours, yeah, amazing. I'm really curious, how did you get all those fast, high-frequency sounds that are glitching and squelching and... one idea I heard that was the sound of like a sample on hold circuit. It's that really bleepy random like... So I'm wondering about that, and if you could tell us something about where you get these fast R2-D2. Like, I'm so curious about that. Those are great sounds, really interesting. And the intro is... How long was that? Yeah. 45 seconds. You know, this is not like music people are going to listen to on Spotify, so it could be a long intro and you mix it in on top of another track. That could be fine. There was one part where the sax really blended with the bass line. I think it was right here. Yeah. I'm impressed with how nicely those fit together harmonically, because that makes them hold space in the mix together. It's not like a harmonic clash. So good job with that. FM synthesis, no modular? Does that mean, oh my God, look at this. All right, Serum Vital Phase Plant, Chris Glitch, yeah. Matt Schultz, see you later. Yep, and FM, no modular. Huh. Good sounds, man, good sounds. Yeah, nice mix, talked about the low end a little bit, just cut the arrangement a little shorter at the end. I think the opening is a fine length. That doesn't really matter because it's up to you to mix it in the way you want. Yeah, man, good. That'll be done. I'd say one more version for the arrangement and then have it mastered and we can download. So we got 3 more on deck. Who is Dark Circles? That's Martin Broren, I think, and The Shep. So let's go with Caesar Dream About. I'm not sure what the updates were on this one, sorry. EQ flat. I'm gonna check in Discord, see if I missed something. All right, yeah, so we got some different distortion on the top end bass, some reverb, percussion variations. Okay, so some mixed notes. I like the fuzz on this bass line right now, so that's good. Deep and dubby. Low end feels weird right here. Why is that? Is there another kick drum coming back? Here? Feels like there's a kick drum, like the kick drum is missing a layer. Okay, so the bass line, the sub is so big, giving us that like dub feel, that the kick drum is a little bit lost. I like that sparkly stuff in the highs. Yeah, right there you can see the kick drum. That 60 hertz is a lot lower than where the bass line is when the sub is in. Yeah, sound at phase canceled. That's what it felt like in the low end. That's mono. And the stereo again. I'll try that again when the bass comes in. Notes getting shorter and shorter, adding tension. Is that just the saturated top end of the bass line, or is that a different sound? I'm going in and out of stereo and mono. Yeah. That's mono. You can see those three big bass notes. Yeah, make sure that bass, sub bass is in mono, and we need to get that kick drum up a little bit louder. Good mid-range synth. Hi-hats could be a little louder, right? The clap is loud, but the clap is louder than the hi-hat. So bring up those closed hi-hats. Right here, I think you could cut the kick and the clap because that pad synth is cool. Just have the little wood block. Ooh. And of course, that was not an ending. That was dropping us off a cliff at the end. Let us have 4 bars of reverb tails. Cool, Caesar, good shit, man. Good stuff, good stuff. I talked a lot through that track. So main thing is get the kick drum up to be in the same space as that bass, because that bass line is super deep and gummy and good, but the kick drum is not coming through the bass line. So that has to get worked out. And, you know, bring up the hi-hats, and you should be good. Let's go with electrified. Gem X phase cancel. May have the mix drowning it out. Yeah, maybe. Okay, couple more little jams here. This is gonna go good with Shepherds. Solid bottom. Industrial percussion. Who else is here? Say hi if you have a track that I did not play. Let me know. Good, good, good. That hi-hat came in nice. It has that pulse, like the bottom feels like ooh-wah, 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 ooh-wah. Resonator, right? All right. Huh. That was a vocal layer in there? Okay, that's a little too much resonance on that filter. Watch out for the chirp frequencies on that resonant filter up around 3,000-4,000, it can get a little too bright. It's good to actually do a resonant filter sweep like that, but maybe put an EQ after it with a notch at those high mids so you can sweep the filter, and when it hits those high ones, it just, there's a notch in place to kind of keep it from getting too shrill, you know? Yeah, you need hard drive space, that's for sure. And then bring in that hi-hat again. There it is, yeah. So this one is kind of, it's big in the mid, the low mids. It has like the kick and the rumble are going on. It's a little bit too dark, you know, like the hi-hat. The mix is not, there's a couple mix balance things. So we talked about that screechy resonant filter getting too bright, but then the hi-hats are kind of not at the same level. So the hi-hats could come up a little bit, and the rumble part, which would be down, you know, under 1,000, like 400 to 1,000. All that stuff in there is a little bit mushy. I mean, the kick itself is nice and clear. But the mix just needs some balance to get the percussion a little bit more out front compared to the mid-range synths. Arrangement's flowing. Nice and buzzy. And now it's back to like that pumping part. Yep. For me, that metal clang doesn't have to happen like the whole track. That got a little repetitive. That one, down. I think it's because it's jumping out louder than the other percussion. So it's like do boom boom. So that particular sound could come down a little bit, hi-hats up a little bit. These are subtle corrections to just kind of pull the mix like closer to you without being like having that one sound sticking out too loud. And I wanted to go back and listen to that mid-range rumble where the kick is gone, which I think is right here. Yeah. I'm seeing, so like some bumps around 150 or somewhere around there. There is a little bit of low mid that I think you could scoop out, so the low end will have a little more clarity but still feel like a surrounding atmospheric rumble. That's a hard one. These are subtle mix notes where if I had the mix up, the tweaks that you would see would not be big changes, but a whole bunch of those small tweaks can just make the difference of a mix that feels a little far away compared to something that's like right up in front and you get all the parts like that kind of keep you in it. And that feels vague. Ian Waters got kicked out of YouTube for being naughty, very naughty indeed. But I'll make another mix on that one, Martin, and bring it back because the arrangement is good. The form is good. The sounds are good. It all hangs together in that dark industrial techno world. So everything about it is 99% done. It needs a couple of mix tweaks, and then it'll be good to go. So bring that back on Saturday if you can. And finally, we got Strobe version 4 from the one and only Shepherds, who was asking us about SonarWorks. SonarWorks, this is not an ad. I just want to talk about it because I got it for this room when I was recording with this mic, SM58, and I was recording vocal samples for a lesson, a hands-on session lesson. And after I recorded them, I had to EQ all of them with this one weird EQ that's not in my voice. Like something about the room had a reflection that was getting into the mic. Like the room was artificially EQing my voice, and I had to undo that with EQ after recording. And I was like, what is the buildup? And I looked and it was like 260 hertz or something like that, and then 400 or whatever. And I said, okay, if my room is doing that, it's either doing it to my ears or to the sound getting into the mic. So I got SonarWorks, and they do a subtle EQ curve on what you're hearing so that when you mix and make it feel natural in your mix, the SonarWorks is correcting for whatever you might be doing out of place because of your acoustics or your speakers or whatever. So it's helpful for me. I use it sometimes. You have to be aware of what the problem is that you're trying to fix with it. Like if you're in a perfectly cubic square room and your head is in the corner and you're mixing super loud bass music, you're gonna make some weird mixes, and SonarWorks might not be able to fix that. You know, it doesn't fix everything. But if you're willing to be aware of what speakers you're listening to, what headphones, what your acoustic environment is all about, and how that's influencing your mixes, it's worth it to play around. And you can download, I think they still have the free version for headphones only, where you can play with it before you get the paid version, which comes with a cool mic. Blah, 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 music. Shepherds. I'm glad I played these two together. See, Ian, you belong after this track. This is your world of sound. This is the one I said it sounds like a diesel truck idling. And I think he's going to cut out that scratchy sound after a bit. Right? And thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. I really love seeing y'all chilling, seeing comments, seeing people talk to each other and give each other feedback is my favorite part of this whole thing. I like hearing music and giving feedback, but when I see you help each other in Discord or on chat or whatever, that's what makes it really fun for me. Ooh, I like how that ride cymbal came in. I like the swing in this. Ticka, 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 ticka. It kind of, well, look what I'm doing. It has me going like this. Feeling good so far. Got that shuffle. All right, good. I like it that sound dropped out right here. Kind of let us get into a bigger space. And that low end really keeps me anchored. It feels like it's going up and down. Got a perfect look at the rumble around the kick right here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I like how the reverb is building up. All right, make that R2D2 sound. That one could be louder just because it's a cool sound. That's a great sound. Slamming right here. There's so much going on in the reverbs that like it builds up and gets like this stacked kind of bubble of sound around the top. Ooh, GemX bi-amping speakers, really. I don't know, you gotta know what you're doing because you can multi-band your mix pretty weird. Ah, nice and big and empty right here. Taking us out to the end. And that is a nice long reverb tail at the end. Good mix. I think this one is about done. A couple of those transition sounds, the little laser beam things could be just a little louder. And then bring it to somebody who does low-end techno mastering like Pivclit at Den, D-E-H-N Mastering. He does great work. You can also hear his new release, Grown Out of Minimal. I think the Plants of the Gods, I get mixed up which one is the band and which one is the album. But Plants of the Gods and Grown Out of Minimal, I think, is the project. Really amazing, deep ambient beats. And if you're in the Track Feedback Crew, you can go to Discord and download the stems, and we're gonna have a little remix happening, which is due January 1st. So you have like about 2 months, month and a half to make your remix and see which ones he's gonna pick for a release, which is kind of cool. Let me do a little promo real quick, because it's about the end, 1:30. Comments. And if you want to get involved with us at a deeper level, let me show you what you're gonna see. Courses.mixitecture.com. This is the Mixitecture member site, where we've got free presets and hands-on session lessons where you learn by doing activities inside live. They're really, really fun. But right now, I want to draw your attention to the Track Feedback Crew. What it's all about is sharing links with people who make the same kind of music as you to get comments on your sound design, your song structure, your updates, your mix, the emotional feel in the music, does it connect, all those kinds of things. And we have this really super supportive crew happening in Discord where we share tracks all the time. So you can click in there to learn more and sign up. It's a couple bucks a month, and send me a private message if you're interested in a member's discount, because that's available pretty much on everything. And the way it works is the more involved you get with the site, the more discounts you unlock. Sometimes you get free products like a sound pack or a little instrument, or sometimes you get 20% off, or sometimes you get a bonus thing included when you buy another thing. I'm really making it fun to play with, so you can come into the site, explore stuff, and look at the teaser module of things and find out about the courses, and then decide if it's right for you. You know, a lot of plugin companies and software companies, they're like, Black Friday, buy my stuff, and they're jamming it in your face. And I know that's necessary for marketing, and they make money, and it works, and it's great. But I don't want to just do only a Black Friday push. I want to do something where it's like constantly telling you, this is what I do, here's what I teach, here's how it helps, here's how it will help you make better music. And then you decide if it's right for you. You do the whole teaser module, earn your little discount or whatever, and you can pick up the course at a lower price because you're part of Mixitecture. That's the way I like to approach it, so I don't have to be like a sleazy salesman, and I can help lead people to things that are going to really help them drop some bass and learn some new things. So check out the courses, check out the teaser modules. You can preview stuff. This whole member site is set up so that you never have to wonder, like, oh, if I buy this, am I going to like it? I don't want you to worry about buying something and then not using it, or buying it and it's not the right thing. So I'm building these little teaser modules for all the products to answer those questions up front, where you can see a video of how it works, or even maybe download a trial version of the lesson to see what you're going to get out of it before you buy it. That way, you know that when you're paying for something, it's going to help you make better tracks, do better sound design, do better mixes, and then you can share them with us in the Track Feedback Crew to actually get them done and get them released, which is the whole point. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Let me get out of here to camera land. Boom. Here I am. And my track Crunchbase is off to Mindbender for a mix and master session. So thanks for all the feedback on that one. I'm not sure I got the final most epic climax from one of the earlier versions, but it sounded smooth, and I wanted to be done with it. So sometimes you have to stop dreaming of perfection and get your track done and just say, hey, this is really good. It's not going to get infinitely better if I work on it for an infinity of more time. So let's get it done and share it so other people can hear it. DJ Waters, you are very welcome. I hope you don't get banned from the internet for being a potty mouth. Oh my God. I'm going to go get a refill, a cup of coffee, and go outside, maybe catch an hour of sleep or something like that. Thanks, everybody. We will see you again on Saturday. And Saturday after Track Feedback, I'm doing an interview with Pivclit to talk about mastering. That's not going to be live. It's going to be a recorded interview. But if you have any questions you want me to ask the man himself, email me, steve@mixitecture.com, put him up in Discord in the general talk, or drop in a comment on here and let us know what you're curious about, because he has a lot of skills from production and mastering and mixing and technical stuff, as well as creative stuff. So you might be able to find some cool